Welcome to the Shamrock Sports Talk Show with your hosts, Igor Mitic from Serbia, Europe, and Andy Vernon from Concord, New Hampshire. We are about pride, tradition, sweat, tears, victory, and determination of Boston sports. Give us a ring at 512-543-4662. Be sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Now, let's get into the Shamrock Sports Talk Show. Welcome to the Shamrock Sports Talk Show with your hosts, Igor Mitic from Serbia, Europe, and Andy Vernon from Concord, New Hampshire. We are about pride, tradition, sweat, tears, victory, and determination of Boston sports. Give us a ring at 512-543-4662. Be sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Now, let's get into the Shamrock Sports Talk Show.
Now let's get to the Shamrock Sports Talk Show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Shamrock Sports Talk Show. This is season 1, episode number 17. You are back with Shamrock Sports Talk Show radio. And Andy Vernon, I'm happy that Andy Vernon is again with us. So Andy, welcome to the show. How do you feel, my man?
Oh, I'm doing well, thank you.
All I want to say is that after I adjust the background, all I want to say is that this is the first time in a while that we are complete. So let me say that you can find us on Twitter. You can find Shamrock Sports Talk Show on your Twitter devices. I mean Twitter app. Our Twitter name is, our Twitter app is Shamrock Sports Talk Show, like this. Let me show you. This is our Twitter, Shamrock Sports Talk Show. Our nickname at Kevin05030698. Kevin05030698. Shamrock Sports Talk Show, our official Twitter device. You can find us on YouTube channel. YouTube channel is official Kevin Dixon's and the Zone Sports Talk Radio channel. Kevin Dixon and the Zone Sports Talk Radio channel. Also, you can try to watch us on Roku TV. First of all, download from your Play stores. Try 99 TV app. Try 99 TV app on tablets, on Androids, on TV, smart TVs, then find And the Zone Sports Talk Radio. So try 99 app, then And the Zone Sports Talk Radio, subscribe. The cost is $4.99 per month or $40 per year, and watch us there, not only us, but Kevin and the other hosts, Luis Tenore after us, at YouTube, and Try 99 TV app or Roku TV app. Now back to the Celtics. Andy, our Celtics are sliding down the standings, and surprisingly for me, I watched the standings before the show. So Milwaukee is 18 losses and Boston 21 losses. Milwaukee, the best team in the league, and magic number to clinch number one spot at the whole league and the whole NBA is 14 for Milwaukee. It's not been a while since the Celtics were the best team in the league, so the Celtics are not anymore the best team in the East and in the league. It's Milwaukee with their great series, 16 wins in a row or something. By the way, go Celtics, and you can find the Celtics items like this, and you can find in the Zone Sports Talk Radio. Let me show. And the Zone Sports Talk Radio shirts like this one. Anyway, so Andy, Milwaukee is 48 and 18, and Boston Celtics 46-21. Now Philadelphia is close to us. So if we continue to lose the games, we could slide to position number 3. And if anyone told you that after All-Star break the Celtics would be could be number 3 team at the Eastern Conference, because the whole season we were the best team in the league. So Denver Nuggets also are having the same record as Boston Celtics, if I'm correct, 46-21. So we are tied for the second place the whole league, and the second place at the Eastern Conference. What can you tell us about the Celtics post All-Star break?
So I think part of the problem kind of goes back to the
We
fact
can
that
hear
we
you.
kind of
We
stood
can hear you.
pat at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm getting an echo off of yours.
Sorry.
Or for me. It might be me too. I don't know. So basically, though, like I feel like some of the problem is that we were not very active at trade deadline. I mean, we were basically inactive at the trade deadline. And I think that what you see with Milwaukee is Milwaukee made a lot of moves. They made a lot of moves to add more players, guys like Jay Crowder, Goran Dragic, who are, like they're not big name players, they're not starters, but they're the type of veterans who can kind of give you a surprise 20 to 25 minutes. They know their role. They've, kind of locked in on their play style. They know their play style. They're good at it. And, they could kind of surprise you with 20 to 25 good minutes every now and then, and that gives the Bucks a lot more versatility. And I'm just using Milwaukee as an example here, but Boston, I think this is really kind of the second season in a row where we haven't done anything at the trade deadline. And I mean, like, I feel like at some point in time, if you want to compete, you have to be willing to make moves. You have to be willing to try to shop out guys like Peyton Pritchard. And I think we'll talk about this more later in the night, but I'm starting to feel like we should consider, at least examine what the market for Robert Williams looks like. And I have my reasons for it. It has nothing to do with his injuries, or I love Time Lord, but I have other reasons for thinking that maybe we should be looking to move on. And so what we've seen since the break, and there's several reasons behind this, but we've seen the Celtics slide. And meanwhile, the Bucks have started to bring these players in. They've started to get more cohesive. And so that's where we see Milwaukee pulling ahead. And I think it's also important to remember that Philly and Cleveland are pretty close behind Boston. I think Philly's, 2 games back, maybe, or a game and a half, 2 games, something like that. And Cleveland's
Philadelphia is only 1 game in the loss column. Boston is having 21 losses, Philadelphia 22. So if we lose twice, Philadelphia could surpass us. Yes.
Yeah. So right now, the Sixers are 1.5 games behind us. I guess the Cavs are 5 games back. So we have a little bit of wiggle room with, like, the Cavaliers, for example. But the thing is we can't afford to have these 3-game losing streaks followed by 1 or 2 wins, because if that continues, there's still enough left of the season that we could get passed by the Sixers, definitely by the Sixers, and could be in danger of getting passed by the Cavaliers. And that's not what we want to have happen. So I think for Boston, there's a few things we need to figure out. I think the biggest one is rotation. And I think we'll talk about that more when we talk about, the games that we've lost. So I'm not going to go into it now.
Okay. Talking about the Milwaukee Bucks, I always felt like in the first part of the season, you could remember what did I say at the Eastern Conference. I feel like the only team that could defeat the Celtics at the Eastern Conference, in my opinion, in 7-game series when we are complete, are the Milwaukee Bucks. I felt like the people are deeply underrating in Boston, deeply underrating the Milwaukee Bucks. I
So,
think
I
that.
mean,
Mhm.
just one thing. I would say that at the start of the season, I would disagree with you because when
Mhm.
Boston's playing 5 out, I don't think the Bucks could defend that well with the team they had to start the season. I think that now when they've
Mhm.
added Dragic, they've added Jay Crowder, I think that's a very
Mhm.
different story now. And so I would agree with you
Mhm.
about the Bucks team that we see now.
Mhm. Because they overloaded at wings. You could notice that they overloaded at wings. They added Jay Crowder, they added Goran Dragic, they added Joe English. They have the best possible rotations, starting five: Chris Middleton, Jrue Holiday, then Allen, Lopez, and Portis. Lopez is playing out of his mind. The other night, he was close to triple double with points, rebounds, and blocks. He was only one block away from triple double with blocks. I didn't see that in a while. Bobby Portis is playing great. The other night against Brooklyn, he had 28 points as a starter. From the bench, Javon Carter, Pat Connaughton, Jay Crowder, Joe English, Goran Dragic. So they have the two units. They have the strong team, and what is the most important, they are strong defensive team towards the Celtics. Now, I mean, I don't understand the Celtics management, to tell you the truth. Maybe I'm stupid, but I totally agree with you. And do not take me wrong, the Celtics fans. We have great team, and we could easily win the title with this roster. Okay, but I feel that we are missing something. For example, for example, I have something here, the Twitter debate that I want to read you, and I want your opinion. So here is this. Boston ranks 25th in points in the paint, 29th in points from two, 29th in points from two, 29th, so almost the last in the league in percent of points from two, 18th in the free throws made, 23rd in percent from the free throws, 14th fast break points, second in percent points from threes, second in 3-pointers made. So one of Twitter commentators is saying that if the Celtics do not make the threes, they lose the series. They lose the series. Now there is another add to this. The Bucks shooted 6 of 27 for threes in the game 6 in the finals and won the finals because the Giannis Antetokounmpo had 50 points and 14 rebounds and 5 blocks. Now, if the Celtics cannot hit the threes, they are cooked. They have no second game plan. They have zero scenario when Jason Tatum dominating in the paint and Al Horford having 19 free throw attempts in 1600 minutes. There is more to this. So Golden State can win the games, in his opinion, even if Curry is shooting 0-9 in Game 5 of the finals, because the process of stopping the Warriors could go 67% from 2 points range. Curry breaks your defense, and the others are hitting twos. And the Celtics are not shooting twos, as we saw from the stats. They are 29th in shooting twos, and that's for the purpose because our offense is designed to shoot the threes and to create the open looks for threes. So the point is, his point here for this guy is that Andy, if Philadelphia 76ers, if Philadelphia 76ers, for example, if they are not shooting threes, they are going to shoot the twos. And Embiid is going to make you 50 and 14. And they could still milk and win the game with the defense, for example, and with a bad offense for threes from 3-point range. They could still win the games. The same with Denver. They have Nikola Jokic, who can score you 40 points, 45 points, only shooting twos mainly, and couple of threes from time to time. The third team, Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis can score you, as we could see, 50 points in the finals, 14, and you could shoot 6 of 27 in the Game 5 of the finals, and the Bucks still won the Game 5 and that finals 2021 and won the title. So, in other words, Bucks could shoot the threes. They have the shooters, but they can adapt to the different game plan and different style. Meanwhile, looking at the Celtics, and that is the criticism of roster construction that you and I are doing the whole year. And I think, Andy, that we are maybe the only ones at the Celtics blogosphere, because everybody was celebrating the banner number 18 when the Celtics started well the season. We were the only ones who were saying that the Celtics need a couple more pieces, and our management needs to show the will to spend in order to win the title. That's the refrain that I'm repeating for years, just like some birds. I mean, I didn't see the will to spend. Mike Muscala is a good guy, and he could be useful, but I'm feeling that he will not see the floor in the crunch time in the playoffs. So we needed small forward, we needed classic center. We didn't bring anyone. I'm not having trust in Luke Cornett to play the backup center in the playoffs. Period. Full stop. Okay, you brought in power forward who can play even the center. I think that we needed shooting forward who can play power forward, but never mind. Okay. We still do not have the backup center. Robert Williams is injury prone. Al Horford is injury prone. Grant Williams is showing some, cracks. He was benched for reasons unknown to me, maybe because of the matchups. So, you could argue, Andy, I know you will argue that we should abandon the two big man lineup, okay? I know your point. We still do not have Danilo Gallinari, who could stretch the floor for us and be extremely useful in the playoffs. But what is my point? My point is that, like this man is saying, if you do not shoot mid-range jumpers, if you do not go to the free throw line to score the easy points, how can you score the easy points? Only by shooting threes. And what if the threes are stopping? And what if you have turnovers during the game? And we are 14th in the fast break points. We are not pushing the tempo up even in the second half of the year. So if the threes are not falling in, and if we have more than 12 turnovers, we are losing every single game. That's what is worrying me. And we did not improve. You are totally correct. Our opponents improved. Boston didn't improve. I still do not understand why. Can you explain me this?
I don't know. I mean, I think that part of the problem is we started off the season really well. What did we do when the season started? We ran five out with our big man being usually Al Horford playing at the top with the key often, setting screens like Al Horford's very versatile, so he plays at the top. He sets a lot of screens. There was a lot of ball movement, a lot of double screens, and what we saw is that opened up
Mhm.
shooters on the perimeter. What we also saw is that when we play that five out and those shooters are knocking down threes, we saw, because I remember we discussed this at the start of the season, how Brown and Tatum were driving the paint, getting more looks near the basket. That's
Mhm.
what you were just talking about with Golden State. The 3 point
Mhm.
offense opens up the 2 point offense. When we go
Mhm.
double big, Robert Williams, like either if you put him at the top of the key, nobody cares because he's not a shooter. It's not like Horford where you have to guard him. Your big has to stay out to guard him. Honestly,
Mhm.
with Robert Williams, you could basically just help off. You could help off of him if he's at the top of the key, or if he goes down into the paint, then their big man to get hang out down there in the paint, and that clogs the driving lanes.
Mhm.
And this is why I don't like Boston. And I've said this for years, ever since we got Tatum and Brown. This is a team that screams that it should be playing small ball. It should be playing
Mhm.
small, fast lineups,
Mhm.
often without traditional centers, trying to spread the floor, play five out,
Mhm.
play a fast break five out offense. And yet we play these double big lineups that just and to me it just doesn't make sense. It's like it's like going out and buying a Ferrari so you can drive 40 miles per hour on the highway. Like it makes no sense to me. Like why are we playing a lineup that's really more of a half court offense when our two stars are built for a fast break offense? And that's I guess what really doesn't make sense to me. It hasn't made sense for years. I don't know what the answer is. I thought some of it might be Danny Ainge, but he's gone now. So I guess maybe it is
Mhm.
Stevens is in love with this double big lineup because I think what we saw at the start of the season with the five out offense, I think that's Joe Mazzulla's offense, just based off of the interviews that
Mhm.
we've seen and what Joe Mazzulla has said. I think that's his offense is the fast
Mhm.
break, five out, 3 point heavy offense. And it worked. And then
Mhm.
Time Lord comes back from injury, and all of a sudden we're back in this double big half court offense. And it's had its moments. They've played very good basketball, but what we're seeing is teams are adjusting to it. And they're putting their weaker defenders back down in the paint with Williams, or they're doing things to limit our perimeter looks. Then when we don't get those good perimeter looks, the shots don't fall. When the shots don't fall, all of a sudden, not only is there now a big in the paint who's helping to clog those lanes, we're also we're just having a harder time driving in because they're helping more off because we're not hitting threes, so they're staying a little bit further back, which lets them help defense on drives. And to me, this is the problem. This is part of the issue for Boston. Like I really feel like we need to go five out. Although, in fairness, with what Milwaukee has done, I don't think going five out will necessarily save us because I think with bringing in Jay Crowder, they have another wing who can help guard that type of offense. So, but I mean, like I don't think playing double big is going to beat the new look Milwaukee Bucks either. So I mean,
And
it kind of falls into pick your poison.
I love what they did for the second bench improvement. They have Joe English, they have Jay Crowder, they have Goran Dragic. Goran Dragic can drive the lanes, go to the paint, kick out passes, open for threes, and Joe English and Jay Crowder can hit those threes. So they really formed. They really formed interesting second bench units, right?
Yeah, I think they really did. And once again, Boston, we need to make moves at the trade deadline to bring in guys like that who can fill those roles. And
Mhm.
that's what we didn't do.
I think that the reports were we were persuading Jakob Pertl at the trade deadline, but we gave up because we didn't want to give up some pieces and the picks. And I mean, I'm asking again the management why. Why are you saving your assets for what exactly year? And what are you exactly waiting for? Tatum or Brown to leave Boston so that you can start make moves? Because if they cannot win the title in Boston, I'm repeating this for years, and I have been attacked by the Celtics fans. Listen, Celtics fans, Tatum probably will stay to Boston, but Jalen Brown could leave if they if he can see that he cannot win the title in Boston. He will say, "Listen, I'm going to go to some contender." Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Golden State Warriors, and then there they are going to pay me. They have supporting cast. They have the great core. I'm going to be a complement player, and I'm going to win the title there. And Boston will stay and scratch their head because they lost the player they invested their whole 15 years future in. So what are you wasting on? Why we are wasting another year?
Let
Mhm.
me just ask you this then, Igor. Do you think that Brad Stevens, because he's a brand new GM who was parachuted into that office with no experience, do you think he's scared to get involved in real trade negotiations? Do you think he's scared that he's going to lose and look bad? Do you
Mm,
think that's why he hasn't made any of these big moves around the trade deadline?
no, I think that we are over the tax line now. I don't have the number in my head. 15 20 million, something like this in the tax line. So adding Jakob Pertl would potentially lift the tax line for the Celtics, and I think that he was afraid of that because Vic Grusbeck told him that. And we have negotiations with Jalen Brown, if I'm correct, with Grant Williams. So we will be forced to spend more. Okay, Grant Williams could walk away, but we still have Gallinari and we still have expensive team. I think that he was afraid not of making moves and fail, but he was afraid of tax line, and that is what is pissing me off. To tell you the truth, because the true contenders are doing exactly the opposite. They are spending because the moment is now, and if you spend the money, you're going to be the champ, and if you're the champions, you're going to get the revenue. The money will return to you. So in order to get the money, you need to spend the money. If you do not spend the money, you will never get the revenue money.
So,
you know
so, and here's what I think is I think as an organization, not in particular on the owners or the GM or anybody else, but I think that as an organization, the Celtics are too cautious. They're too timid when it comes to making
Mm-hmm.
moves.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about it, like all the teams that have been winning championships, right? They made pretty big gambles,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
I
Absolutely.
mean, Milwaukee got lucky, and the ones that haven't got lucky, because you could say, oh well, Milwaukee didn't make a huge gamble to win a title, but the Bucks also got incredibly lucky to draft Giannis where they drafted him,
Antetokounmpo.
primarily
Mm-hmm.
because the NBA at that time and still now undervalues European players. They got lucky in
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Golden State still took some risks, but really, like, because if you remember back way back to when Steph Curry was drafted, that was not like a slam dunk draft pick when Golden State took him. A lot of people criticized that. They said he wouldn't be able to play as the same in the NBA. There were a lot of doubters with Steph Curry, and obviously he proved them wrong. But the Golden State Warriors also got incredibly lucky, not just with Steph and Clay, which is in and of itself like miraculous to draft two superstars that got along that well, but also with Draymond Green, because remember, Draymond Green was like a throwaway second round pick, I think. And he was like when the Celtics drafted, I don't know, Carson Edwards or something like that, and somehow
Something
he's
like
morphed into this
30th pick,
key
something.
role.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, like, but what Boston as an organization, they just seem to be so risk adverse. They don't want to swing for the fences. They want to make the safe choice every time. In some ways that's a good thing, but I don't feel like making safe choices is going to put us into a position to win Banner 18. Not with the way the NBA looks right now.
You keep on talking. I'm working on salary cap because I will upload with the profile. I hope. By the way, you can see on the screen the injury list for tonight. Gallinari out, Peyton Pritchard out, Robert Williams out. That's why you're correct that we could potentially explore trading Robert Williams down the stretch. If not this season, I know that Boston Celtics fans are getting headaches whenever they read something like this, that Robert Williams could be traded, because for them everybody on this team is untouchable. But I think that you, Andy, you have the totally right. Let me just okay. Let me just okay. You talk while I upload a picture, please.
Yeah, so I mean, like, the thing to me with Robert Williams, and I think anybody who's watched me on this show or on the old show that we had knows I'm a huge Robert Williams fan. The thing is to me, he's injured way too much. Like, you cannot count on Robert Williams to be healthy when you need him. And that's unfortunate because he is supremely talented. He does things that like nobody else in the NBA could do some of the things that he does.
Uh-huh.
The problem is like there's a lot of players like this. Chris Paul, another one, great player, Hall of Fame player. I would argue Chris Paul is probably a first ballot Hall of Fame player, whether or not he wins a title.
Uh-huh.
But you can't count on him to be healthy when it counts, because it seems like every time we need him, he's injured.
Absolutely.
And the same thing
That's it.
goes for Robert Williams. And at some point, we have to be willing to move on from
Yeah.
that. In my opinion,
Yes.
the only two
Yes.
or the
Yes.
only three people I see as untouchable on this Celtics team right now are Tatum,
Tatum, Brown,
and
Smart.
Marcus Smart.
I would add I would add Derek White to this. I really love
Derek White, I'm on the fence about. I like what he's done
I would
a lot
add
with
Derek
Boston,
White. Mm-hmm.
but Derek White to me falls into the same category as Grant Williams,
Grant
where I
Williams.
wouldn't look to trade him.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody came and there was a really good player that
Trey,
really fit us
right.
available,
Right.
and it was a good trade for Boston, and they wanted Derek White or Grant Williams, I would give them if I felt the trade was otherwise very beneficial. But I wouldn't look to trade them. Anybody else on that roster? I mean, Horford's the other one. I wouldn't look to trade Horford.
Horford. Yeah, Horford. Number 4, right? And then Derek White, number 5. That's the core. Okay, that's like the starting 5 we prefer, right? Marcus Smart, Derek White, Tatum, Brown, Horford. That's starting 5. So you're not trading starting 5, in my opinion.
Well,
and bench starting 4.
And I would trade Horford. Like, don't get me. I would trade Al Horford once again, same category as White and Williams. If the right offer came along, and I thought for example, we could get a third star like Bradley Beal and keep Smart and Tatum.
Right,
and
right,
they asked us for Derek White or Grant Williams or Al Horford. I would sign that trade in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Let me explain the picture that I posted. So we were discussing, and you asked me what is about luxury tax thresholds. So I have the information for our viewers, and we love to bring you the right information here. So you could see that this season Danilo Gallinari is signed by tax payer mid-level exception, $6.479 million. These are our numbers. So 2022 NBA luxury tax threshold is 150.2 millions. Now, the Celtics' total taxable salaries are 175.4 millions. 175.4 millions. Now, it means that we are 25.173. 25.173 over the luxury tax threshold, which is 150 millions. That means that our luxury tax bill would be will be this season 64.485 millions. 64.485 millions. So the Celtics are currently over the league salary cap. This means cap holds and exceptions are not included, total cap allocations. And I think that this is the key. So Brad Stevenson, Vic Grusbeck, and Steven Paluka and ownership group, they are afraid of adding another player because, Andy, if you add another salary of 5 millions more, this would be like 30 millions over the luxury cap threshold, and luxury tax bill would be over 70 millions. And I think that's why they didn't make a moves. Sadly for
Yeah.
the Celtics fans again.
Yeah, I think it goes back to them being very risk adverse because and I think everybody else knows that
Absolutely.
if the Celtics went to the NBA Finals again, they're going to make that 30 million back in TV deals, jersey sales, tickets.
Yes.
Like they'll make that back.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Parking, if you've ever paid for parking at
Absolutely.
TD Garden, you basically have to like sell a kidney to park near the garden. So I mean, they make their money back.
Here is another picture that I want you to comment, and we will return to the big picture because I really love the discussion, and I think this is the key discussion because it's not important to talk about the details. I think that we here in this show are telling the big picture. So as the game winds down, let's see which team turns to the team-centric offense and individual offense strategies. The picture is small, Andy, okay, but I will explain to you. So you could see by the quarter how the teams are they playing individual offense or they're playing the team offense. So the Celtics they're having green squares in the first, in the second, and in the fourth period. So this means like we are about 35%, around 35%, or more in the first, second, and the fourth period, and in the third, we are close to 40% field goals, and we are more individual-centric team offense than team-centric offense. While, for example, some other teams down there are having higher field goal percent, and they are relying more on the teams like New York's, Miami, Atlanta. They are not having good individual players. Do you want to comment something on this interesting picture, Andy?
Well, I think it's interesting. Maybe I'm a little bit confused because it looks like we have about 38% of our shots are team created. Or I'm sorry, 38% of our shots are self-created, are isolation plays.
So in the first period,
Okay.
35 to 38% of the shoots are self-created, individual plays in the first, second quarter, and the last period, fourth. And in the third period, we are playing like a team. That's what it means. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, like it seems like we have decent ball movement because it seems like the majority of our shots are coming off of passes, which is good.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I think that, I mean, like the thing to me is, and maybe it's just me, and I'm not trying to put Jason Tatum down. He's had an amazing season. Jalen Brown regressed slightly from last
Uh-huh.
year, but still having a solid season.
Uh-huh.
But I think the thing to me is, I still feel like we kind of lack that go-to guy in the final period. Because when you look at us in the final period, we just don't really we're passing the ball, we're getting a lot of team baskets. That's good. But I feel like when you want to win a title, you have to have that one guy in the fourth quarter when the game is tight that you can go to, and they're going to score the points that are needed to close the game. Like Paul Pierce was kind of that guy
You you
when
you
he
mean
played in
like
Boston.
you mean like Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown and Marcus Smart and the other Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown at the first place, they are learning how to close the games. They are still
Yeah,
learning how to close the game.
but to me,
That's
they just
what you mean.
don't. They just don't have it consistently enough. Um, like I said, like Paul Pierce was definitely that guy. Anybody who watched the Celtics during the Paul Pierce era knows what I'm talking
Yeah,
about because
he's top 10 clutch players of all the times, he had, or even top 5. He has fantastic clutch statistics. And I
yeah.
think that's something that you cannot learn. That's something that is in your genes.
And I
Uh,
agree. And I think part of the problem with Tatum and Tatum especially, he either over ISOs or he under ISOs. And he just
uh-huh,
hasn't really figured out that spot where you need to be at. Trying to think of guys his age who are better at it than like Luca. I think is somewhat better at it than him.
uh-huh,
In that Luca knows when to isolate. He does enough isolation that people start doubling him. But then like
uh-huh,
Luca gets the feel for the game where he can sense when he's drawing that attention, and that's when you see him start to pass and get the assists. I just don't feel like Tatum's quite gotten to that point yet. And that's
uh-huh.
where I think Boston kind of needs to find that balance is we need to find that balance where our stars can isolate enough that they draw extra attention and free up the other shooters. Or we need to go back
Excellent
to the
stuff.
ball movement
Excellent stuff.
five out offense.
5 out. Great. I totally agree. And to back up the information, for example, on the last game that we won against the Portland, 115-93. Guys, we had 42 field goals made. Okay. So, Andy, out of 42 field goals made, we have 26 assists. That means that more than 50% field goals made came from assisted. Those were assisted baskets, okay? So more than 50% field goals made came from assists. So that's good team basketball, okay? You cannot say that we played individual basketball and we had the good offense and we won the game comfortable by 20 plus points, okay? I think that maybe you are correct. Adam Taylor from Celtics blog and heavy.com, he made the point. I will remove the picture because I think that we made our points and excellent points here. Adam Taylor, our friend that were guests on our shows, so he made the point that he wants to bring the best of Robert Williams, and he was talking with Smith from Celtics blog on his show how to maximize Robert Williams minutes, and he concluded the same with you and with us that Robert Williams should be benched when he is healthy. I would add not only because of the first unit, Andy, but because of the second unit. And remember what I said that I do not trust Luke Cornett. I cannot see Luke Cornett playing significant minutes in the playoffs. I could see Mike Muscala starting and even playing backup center, backup point forward because he fits the style better. And I love the man. But I cannot see Luke Cornett playing significant minutes in the playoffs. If you bench Robert Williams, if you play the rotations like Marcus Smart and Derek White. Why? Because Marcus Smart is starting point guard, our first playmaker. Okay. Derek White. The numbers are showing that Derek White is playing the best when he is starting, right? So you do not want to bury down the bench Derek White and to lose his creativity, because when you put him with the second unit, he's not giving you the production like he is with the starting unit. So you put Marcus Smart and Derek White at the backcourt, then you put Tatum and Brown at wings because those are their natural positions, and you put Al Horford at the center. Al Horford doesn't like to play the center, but he will need to sacrifice for the team, and he will understand, I'm sure. When you have tough matchup down the low, when you play against Embiid, against Jokic, against the big massive centers like this, and like Giannis Antetokounmpo, you will start based on the matchups, the double big lineups. Okay, you will start because you need to guard Lopez and Antetokounmpo. Lopez is playing out, and Antetokounmpo on the offense is playing in. Antetokounmpo will bully Al Horford down the low, and Lopez will score you threes over the smaller defenders. So you need to start Robert Williams for the purposes of the defense against Milwaukee, for example. But on other occasions, you will start small ball lineup with Horford at the center and Tatum, Brown, Smart, and White. Then from the bench, usually in the regular season, Robert Williams, first, he is always injured. Then you reduce his minutes. And from the bench, you have Mike Muscala. You can pair Mike Muscala and Robert Williams at the bench. Then from the bench, you have Malcolm Brogdon, who was injured. And then you have the three great guys from the bench. You have Muscala, you have Brogdon, you have Robert Williams. Occasionally, you can add Sam Hussier, who can shoot you threes from the wing positions as option number 4. And that's it. Peyton Pritchard, eventually number 5. And that's it for the playoffs. Those should be the playoff rotations. Grant Williams number 4. Pardon, Grant Williams. So you have 4 guys. You have Grant Williams can play you. Muscala can play you 4. Grant Williams can play you 3. They play together, even in the starting units. That's not the problem. So you have like Brogdon and 1. Hussier at 2, Grant Williams at 3, Mike Muscala at 4, at 5, Robert Williams from the bench. Excellent bench. You don't need anything else. You can play 3 guys from the bench. You can play 5 guys from the bench. But set the right rotations. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, like at this point, I don't think any rotation Boston has is going to be great against Milwaukee. I would actually try to run 5 out against Milwaukee and make Brook Lopez unplayable. And that's the only reason is to make Brook Lopez unplayable because we know Brook Lopez cannot guard the perimeter. He's easy to exploit there.
Right.
I think that if we play double big against Milwaukee and Lopez stays, I mean, like it's 50-50. It depends on whether or not he's hitting shots over our double big lineup. If he is, then I go 5 out and try to make him unplayable for them. The issue is that if you get Brook Lopez out of that lineup, Milwaukee could just bring in Bobby Portis, who could also space the floor,
shoot the threes,
smaller, and more able to play in a smaller, faster
game. Absolutely.
And this is the problem. Like I said, I don't think Boston has a good answer to Milwaukee right now on paper.
Yeah.
Obviously, you still have to play the games.
They started. They started Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez the other night, by the way, so they can do whatever they want. Totally agree with you, and that is why I'm scratching my head and asking why in the world you didn't bring in another useful player that can be really good backup player, and there were available players, but we didn't want to give up assets.
Jay Crowder?
What about Jay Crowder?
What about Jay Crowder?
I rooted for Jakob Pertl. I think that he could be extremely valuable for us against Milwaukee that you mentioned, but we didn't want to give up the assets. So it is what it is. We must try to win with personnel we possess, and we are a jump shooting team, and we must try to go to the rim more often. We must push the tempo. I don't have information for pace of the game that we're playing in. We are too slow, and we are better when we're pushing the tempo, when we're pushing the transition, and when we go to the rim. So we should go to the rim, playing high tempo to get transitional baskets, and we have the guys who can split the defenses and go to the rim. We have Malcolm Brogdon, we have Marcus Smart, we have Derek White, Brown, Tatum. All of them can go to the rim, split the defenses, then get outlet passes, return passes from which our shooters, outside shooters, can score you the balls. That's what we saw in the first part of the season. This is not rocket science. You mentioned we started the 5 out guys, and we played the best offense not only in the first 20 plus games, not only in the season, but in the history of the game. And right now we are here talking how to fix the Celtics offense. I mean, I'm starting to scratch my head. Like you said, Joe Mazzulla has the receipt, the good receipt for the offense. I think that I love his offensive style, but I think that he needs to work better on his rotations. And of course, we need to get healthy, because if we are not healthy, everything that we are talking here is just going to the toilet, because rotations will be forced, not by will, right?
Well, there's the problem for Boston, because on the one hand, we need to keep winning games, but on the other hand, this is when we need to start looking at resting and restricting minutes for the starters. So, we're kind of now in a tough spot, because a lot of those replacement guys like Brogdon and Time Lord that we could use to rest Horford, Tatum, Brown, Smart, etc., they're now injured. So we're playing our starters right up until the playoffs, and that's not a great recipe for success, especially with somebody Horford's age.
Yeah, we brought ourselves with stupid losses, just like the other day. I mean, we didn't talk about the Cavaliers loss. What in the world was that against the Cavaliers? We had the game in our pockets, and we just let it slide down the road, down the river. We are pouring the easy games. We lost from New York. I mean, twice. Not once, but twice from freaking New York. I mean, and we are right now 3 games down the losing column from Milwaukee. I think, as hard as it is to me to say that the first place is lost for us, what is the goal in the rest of the season? To secure the second place, because Philadelphia 76ers, they're playing well, and they are breathing down our neck. They are having only one loss more. 21 losses Boston, 22 losses Philadelphia. So if we lose down this road trip, and we have the huge road trip, we do not have easy schedule. I think that we have top 10 toughest remaining schedules in the NBA, which is not making us easier. So if we lose 2 more games, we could slide to position number 3. And you do not want that at the Eastern Conference, because you will be on the road against both Philadelphia and Milwaukee, right? We are playing Atlanta away. We are playing in Atlanta, then in Houston, then in Minnesota, then in Portland, in Utah, Sacramento. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 road trip games, and 2 games are back-to-back games, Portland and Utah. So our remaining schedule is not easier. in the March. We have like I said, one, two, three, six in a row away games and two back-to-back games, and the teams are not solid teams. Atlanta, Houston, Minnesota, Portland, Utah, Sacramento. Sacramento is playing out of their minds, right? With Sabonis and Fox and the others. Minnesota Timberwolves solidly. Houston is easy. Okay, let's say Houston is easy game. We defeated Portland, but they're going to want to get revenge. Utah. They're dangerous as home. Atlanta they could be dangerous as home. So if we slip two or three more games down this stretch, we could be number 3 team, and we do not want that, right?
Yeah, and I know we're running out of time here, but I think the problem for Boston right now is just you look at other teams in the East like Milwaukee and Philadelphia. The thing is they've gelled together and they've improved steadily as the season has gone on. And I feel like Boston, not individually, but in terms of the lineups and the strategy we're running, we've regressed. And that's not really, that's not a good thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have time. We have 4 more minutes. What do you expect tonight in Atlanta? And by the way, when we're mentioning Atlanta, let us give the update 26-26 with 3 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in the first. Boston Celtics started Derek White, Al Horford, Jalen Brown, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum. That's what we wanted, right? Then Blake Griffin, Malcolm Brogdon, Sam Hussein from the bench. We are tied with Atlanta. That's what Andy and I preached. By the way, I wanted to say just that against Milwaukee, without our stars, without Horford, without Smart, without Tatum, without who was out, Smart, Tatum, Brown, Smart, Tatum, Horford, and somebody else. Brogdon, I think. We started Mike Muscala. We started Blake Griffin, even Hussein, and Smart and Brown. So with this lineup and totally Peyton Pritchard and the others from the bench, we gave Milwaukee troubles to defeat us after the All-Star game, and they defeated us with Jrue Holiday hitting crazy clutch shoots in the overtime, but we gave them the troubles. So we show that we can play with Milwaukee, but it will be extremely difficult because right now they are better team than they were before, right?
Yeah, so I mean, like, and like I said, there's a big part of me. I know a lot of Celtics fans think that we need to go and match Milwaukee's size with size. I disagree. And like I said, I stand by the fact that the best way for Boston to play Milwaukee is to try to play 5 out and force the Bucks to match, get into a shootout with us. And the only reason I feel that way is because, okay, so like we match their size with size. We're still way under talented. I love Al Horford, but nobody's
they are in advantage. They are in advantage. They are in advantage one-on-one.
Yeah, so I don't see why we play to their advantage. You don't play to the other team's advantage. You play to your advantage. So we play small, we play fast, we make Brook Lopez unplayable, and then we basically say you're going to have to outscore us to beat us. And it's worked for us against Milwaukee this year. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, and to add that Giannis is playing like MVP, Chris Middleton returned to the lineup, which is important for them. Jrue Holiday is playing great, fantastic on both ends on the floor, defense, offense, transition, really floor general that you really want to have. You mentioned Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez. The other night I said he almost had triple-double with blocks, which is unseen in a while. in the NBA. Bobby Portis can score 28 points the other night, double-double, scoring threes, spreading floor, really great guy. You have Joe English, Jay Crowder from the bench, Goran Dragic, a really deep team, and we must figure out a way to match them, and we must save the position number 2. That's our message here, I guess, and we must win the winnable games at the road trip, right?
Yeah, I think, and that's the thing is we have to win the games. We have to do it without playing our starters in big minutes, and that I think is going to be the really hard part for Boston.
Andy, it was extremely pleasure, and I think that our listeners saw the great analysis. We are not afraid to say something that the other shows are afraid to say or they cannot say. So stay with us. Tune in to End the Zone Sports Talk Radio. Search us at Twitter, at YouTube, Kevin Dixon, and the Zone Sports Talk Radio channel. Our shows are there. And Roku TV, try 99 app. You will hear more information there. Andy and I are back the next Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Go Celtics, win against the Bucks. Right, Andy?
We got to get some wins over Milwaukee.
Definitely, and right now we are signing out with our outro. We are wishing you good night and go Celtics.
Thank you for listening to the Shamrock Sports Talk Show. We're here every Saturday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are the best or leave lucky show in the area. This show comes to you by way of the In the Zone Sports Talk Show Network, LLC. And be sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Thank you for listening to the Shamrock Sports Talk Show. We're here every Saturday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are the best or leave lucky show in the area. This show comes to you by way of the In the Zone Sports Talk Show Network, LLC. And be sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance.